Well, people, one more shot, right? This is the new film from James Nunn, which he co wrote with Jamie Russell. It is produced by Ben Jacks, executive produced by Gareth Williams, co produced by Joe Karaminik, and associate produced by Melissa Massey. Austin Wintory handles the music, while Joe Rennick is on cinematography. Emma Gunnery handles casting duties. Natalie O'Connor, production design, with Jasmine Ada Knox on costume design. Hair, makeup, prosthetics, we've got Samantha Maxwell, Heather Pitchford, Alexandra Police, Freddie Stupler, and Leanne Allison White. The cast. Well, Jake Harris returns via Scott Adkins. We got Hooper, played by Hannah Atherton. Mike Marshall is played by Tom Berenger. Right? We have got Stanwood, played by Christos Dante. Agent Howard, played by Tip Cullen. Wald is played by Duncan Casey. Agent Price is played by Stephen Blades. We've got Amin Mansur, played by Walid El Gadi. Jennifer Lomax, played by Alexis Knapp. We've got Mansur's wife. Here we go. Nisha is played by Mina Rainan. Agent Ryan is played by Gary Raymar. Newman is played by Samantha Schnitzel. Dunbar is played by Aaron Tooney. Robert Jackson is Michael J. White. Kelly Harris is played by Jill Winternitz. Who else? Agent Jenke, played by Cassidy Little. Agent Long, played by Neil Limpow. Campbell, played by Teddy Linnard. Agent Donovan, played by Tom Lee. And I think Agent Lamb, played by Mark Hampton. Yeah, I think that's everyone. Yeah. So the gist of the story is following the Black Site attack in Poland, Navy SEAL Jack Harris must use all his honed skills to survive an airport siege from mercenaries attempting to capture high-profile terrorist suspect Amin Mansur. With a bomb threatening the State of the Union address, Mansur is the only person who may know its location. Still reeling from the loss of his team, Harris must protect the man he brought in for justice at any cost. So there we go. Now, what I didn't know going in was this was actually a sequel to One Shot from 2021, right? Which, to be honest with you, you don't really need to know, right? I think there's references to this thing in Poland, right, to the loss of the team and all of that kind of jazz. But yeah, I don't know how much relevance really, because it's pretty simple to follow. Now, maybe there's characters in this one who he came across in the first film, right? Maybe people he thought were his friends and, villains in this. I don't know. But yeah, it was pretty simple, right? You know what I mean? You didn't need a degree to get the gist of this. But the story was odd. There's a lot of odd things going on here, I've got to say. I really do like Scott Adkins and Michael J. White. I think they're great. Great at action. You know, I mean, solid actors. But there are times when they can be in these just films with the script that I don't think it does them justice, unfortunately, people. Unfortunately. Right? This, I mean, you could say this is a solid actioner, right? You definitely don't have to think about it. But there's just so many things here that just seem very odd, right? Seem very odd. I mean, a character has a bad leg, fucked up leg, you know what I mean? And there's some bits where he can't move, and other bits where he jumps up, and you know, it's just like there's no consistency in it. You know, like I think you've got an instance with a gun, someone grabs a gun, and he's just like, oh no, don't, and you're just like, what's the actual need? And someone else is talking about, you know, they're gonna think I'm a terrorist, but they have a bomb, right? It's just like, yes, that's what you are, right? Like, or that's the perception you've given everyone. You know what I mean? Like, where is the shock here? Someone else supposedly hates someone, but then is all, oh no, you know, and upset about them throughout, right? It just, these things just don't add up, right? They don't add up. They're just all over the place, right? And with the characters, no one's really talking to each other, right? You've got people suspecting other people, and you just think, well, if someone had just said, right, it could have resolved. But everyone's, it's all this whole, oh, you know, keep it under our hat type of business. But you're just like, yo, you're working a mission. I don't know if this is how it would be, right? I don't know how this would be. It's, yeah, peculiar, very very peculiar. You know, I do, the one thing I did like was after you know, Jake had taken people, beaten them up, he just shot him in the head, right? And I'm just like, yes, I mean, obviously that's what you would do in this situation, right? Because a lot of times in films like this, they leave the person and then they come, that person finally wakes up and comes after them, and just like, you wouldn't leave your enemies viable, you would just shoot them. So that makes sense. That I was just like, okay, good, some sensible shit here, you know what I mean? But yeah, there's just there's one character who's getting shot at and all of this, and then they're like, don't hurt them. I'm like, wait, don't hurt the people that are trying to kill. Like, what are you saying? What are you saying here? This is weird. And our bad guy, you know, they like it's not menacing, right? It's just kind of shouting rather than being menacing, right? So you're not really afraid or anything like that. You don't, they're not fearful, right? They're not going to put the wind up anyone, you know, which is, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, people. Like, it's clearly set up for a third film. The way this ends, you know what I mean? It is, there's no resolution. So it's just straight up, okay, this is, you know, the next scene will be part three. Like, there's not really even a solid ending. It's just, oh, there's more, right? We're not gonna resolve anything right now. There's gonna be a third film. So I don't know if the third film was a guarantee going into this. Because you just think if this wasn't successful and there's not gonna be a third, then you at least want it to end in a way where you're just like, okay, but it doesn't. So yeah. One more shot. One more shot. I think people, if you like stuff like The Best Man, and I'm not talking about, you know what I mean, the 90s flick. No, 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 no. I'm talking about we covered it last year on the podcast. With Dolph Lundgren in it, you know, it's the wedding, that whole thing. Yeah, if you like stuff like that, if you like stuff like, right, think of all of those Bruce Willis straight to streaming DVD films. You know what I mean? If those are your jam, right? If you like those films, then one more shot, boom, this is for you, right? Now, I believe it is available on all streaming platforms in the States, and it's on Sky Cinema in the UK. Okay, so there you go, people. One more shot.